Deck had a beauty. For 5 years I had fought at Adrienne's side, shoulder to shoulder through every hail of bullets. Everyone knew I was the favorite, tucked against his heart. The day we flew home I bubbled with joy, sketching out the wedding I thought would be ours. Instead, I walked in on him with First. First asked, "Skylar took a bullet for you. Almost died. Are you really not going to marry her?" Adrienne lounged on the sofa, shrugged and smiled. A bodyguard laying down her life for her employer is just part of the job. You want me to marry every last contractor on my payroll? First gave a tinkling laugh and nestled into his arms. True. Then have her plan our wedding for us. I swallowed the pain and walked away. Later, I stepped into the Whitman family gala with a man on my arm. Adrienne's eyes locked on the love bites blooming above my collarbone. His face ashen. "How are you two together?" The man slid a possessive hand to my waist and grinned. "Reckless. You refused to repay a life debt, big brother, so your little brother had to step in." Adrienne had organized a night out with friends. I arrived to find him at once in the crowd, and the girl beside him, long curling hair, lashes sharp as ink. She lifted a glass and tapped it against his. "Adrienne, are you happy to get engaged to me?" He smiled the fond, slow smile reserved for her and flicked her forehead. "What do you think, Vivian? I've waited 10 years for this." Her cheeks flamed. She tilted her head to his shoulder, then remembered some grievance. "They say you keep a woman bodyguard. 5 years inseparable. The whole circle knows she took a bullet for you. Almost died. Such devotion. Won't you marry her?" Adrienne leaned back, utterly indifferent. A bodyguard dying for her employer is in the contract. Am I supposed to wed every employee who bleeds for me? I froze. I knew Vivian, Adrienne's first, the girl he had pined for all through adolescence. At university they finally became a couple. Iceland to watch auroras. Norway to watch whales kissing at the top of a Ferris wheel. Those days lasted forever. But even the sweetest lovers quarrel. After 1,000 breakups they split for good. I met Adrienne the year after. I had just finished a protection detail and before I could reach the airport, lost my purse and papers to a thief. I fought the gang, was outnumbered, and ended up in lockup. Adrienne bailed me out under a black umbrella, black trench coat, the only warmth in Aurelia's winter rain. "Skylar, nice moves. 80 grand a month. Interested in working for me?" I followed him. A year later in the same city he walked into an ambush meant for him. I took the fatal bullet. As darkness closed in I knew I was lost. I woke a month later. The immaculate, self-contained man was red-eyed, disheveled, slipping a multi-million-dollar blue diamond on my finger. "It's rushed but I can't wait. With this ring we're engaged. Sky, once we're home I'll marry you." So I waited. In the 5th year, he shifted the center of gravity back stateside. Safe streets, quiet days. I had time at last to plan our wedding, only to discover the wedding existed only in my head. Just like when I was small and abandoned, waiting for a mother who never returned, I waited now for a groom who never would. I didn't know how to react. Since the academy shipped me off at 15, I'd rarely spoken except to receive orders. I could clear a room of hostels in 30 seconds. Yet this scene paralyzed me. A waiter brushed past. The movement drew every eye. Sky. Adrienne had not expected me. Black lashes lifted, displeasure icing his stare. "Who told you to come?" Not even in my first week under his command had he used that tone. "Skylar." Vivian rose, hips swaying, and circled me like a curious kitten. "Adrienne brags about your skills. I'm your biggest fangirl. Could you give us a demo? You won't refuse your future boss, right? A trick pony show." I looked to Adrienne for rescue. He stared through me as though I were glass. When I stayed mute, Vivian pouted back to the sofa. "Adrienne, look. She ignores me. I'm half her employer already." His gaze weighed on me, heavy as a vault door. "Don't be difficult." "Exactly. It's nothing." Moping like someone died. Total downer. "Where'd you dig up this ice queen, Adrienne?" The chorus of insults rose. He let every syllable land. This wasn't the man who years ago had snapped a drunk's wrist for brushing my thigh. Hurt flayed me. Fury followed. Still, my contract had months to run. I obeyed until the ink dried. My eyes dropped to the glass coffee table. I clenched my fist and slammed it down. Shards exploded. Vivian shrieked and burrowed into Adrienne's chest. I held his indifferent stare and asked, "Stone cold satisfied?" Chaos erupted. They cursed me. Demanded Adrienne fire me. Let it go. Vivian cut. She grew up rough. No parents, barely any school, clumsy, not malicious. So he'd told her everything. She nuzzled closer. Remember graduation night? We booked that hotel. He took me 3 times. Such stamina. Wolf whistles ricocheted off the walls. Tell us more, sis. Vivian's voice dropped to a whisper. Every ear still caught our rule. Each new country. First night we christened the room. She tipped her face to Adrienne. All these years, did you ever think of me? Something storm-dark flickered in his eyes. Every day. Prove it. He laughed softly. I moved our headquarters back for you. Enough. Not even close. Silence thick and electric. Then his fingers bracketed her chin and he kissed her hard. Cheers detonated. When he released her, his lower lip gleamed wet. Enough now. She caught her breath, murmured something against his ear. Whatever she said. His pupils dilated, voice gravel rough. Done. My chest felt caved in. I swallowed the salt rising in my throat and turned to leave. Skylar Vivian singing stopped me. Sweetie, will you plan our wedding? Family, you know. Oh, you're bleeding. She cried over me. Adrienne, she needs a doctor. The man who once panicked when I sneezed gave a bored frown. It's a scratch. She can take care of herself. I walked out, almost colliding with someone in the corridor. Excuse me, I muttered. The man clicked his tongue, hands in pockets lounging against the wall, eyes brilliantly amused. Year and a half, and this is how I find you, Declan, Adrienne's half-brother. Same blood, opposite poles. One glacial corporate king, the other an untamed VC renegade. I tried to sidestep. He extended a lazy leg, blocking me. With skills like yours, I'd have punched every one of those idiots. Assault earns jail. Defeat earns hospital bills. He draped an arm over my shoulders. Grin wicked. Say brother, brother, and I'll revenge flare you right back at him. I caught his wrist, ready to flip him, but he yanked me close. Don't give me another concussion. I'm still seeing double from last time. His gaze dropped to my blood-slicked knuckles. The laughter drained from his eyes. Who drew blood? I didn't answer. Declan beat me to the stairs anyway, hauled me to a pharmacy, and returned with antiseptic and bandages. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel, and tell us where you're listening from in the comments. He grabbed my injured hand and disinfected it with care. The concentration in his eyes made it look as though he were handling something priceless and fragile. Nothing like the usual slack, smartass version of himself. Something stabbed at my heart. Some nameless emotion crawling out from its hiding place. Don't go to so much trouble. Back when I stood beside Adrienne, every wound was bigger than this little scratch. A cut like this would have healed before we even got home. I instinctively tried to pull away. Declan tightened his grip. He lowered his gaze, and under the street lamp, the light in his eyes flickered on and off. Feel like thanking me? Then do me a favor. A lazy grin slid across his face. Same old recipe, same old Declan. What favor? For saving your hand, and for almost having that same hand break mine? How about letting me crash at your place? I stared at him in bewilderment. With your kind of money, you've got nowhere to hide. He tapped out a cigarette, about to light it, then seemed to think better of it and left it dangling unlit. The people looking for me aren't amateurs. Your place is the safest, so I'm your free bodyguard now. Huh. I didn't want to get pulled into his mess. And on top of that, he's Adrienne's younger brother. Not convenient. He leaned one knee against the Bentley, lounging beside the door. Cold-hearted. You'd watch me get beaten to death and never lift a finger. I thought of all his rumored flings. Trouble with a woman? Declan hesitated a beat, then smiled, leaning in close. The raw scent that belonged only to him rolled over me. An aggressiveness impossible to ignore. Jealous, I know too well how ugly it is to be dragged into someone else's love life. Disgust flared. I instinctively stepped back. Before I could react, Declan's arm snaked around my waist and tugged lightly. My whole body slammed into his chest. Skylar, I've never had a woman. How about taking my suggestion for a revenge flirt? 6. Declan drove me home downstairs. He just said goodbye when he collided with the delivery guy. Coffee splashed all over him. I had no choice but to let him come up to clean off. Bathroom. Water drumming loud. I sat on the sofa to wait. Minutes later, the water stopped and the door pushed open. Steam rolled out as Declan stepped out wearing nothing but a bath towel. Broad shoulders, narrow waist, abs locked tight. Those Adonis lines cut straight down beneath the cloth. My eyes popped. What are you doing? Declan glanced at himself, then at me. Taking a shower, obvious enough. No normal guy showers in a woman's apartment in the middle of the night. I'd figured he'd just wipe off a little. I swallowed the words back. He looked completely relaxed. Borrowed your towel. Hope you don't mind. It's already used. What's the point of asking now? He went silent a second, apparently not expecting that reply. Want it back. Slender fingers, pale against the white towel, hooked the fold as though he might tug it free. My heart jerked. If anyone would pull a crazy stunt like that, it'd be Declan. I slapped my hand over his. Keep it, I don't mind. As the words left my mouth, the feel of his skin hit me, eyes locked, light dancing in his. I yanked my hand back, but he was quicker, trapping it again in that wicked bad boy way of his. With reflexes like that, you accidentally land on my towel. He was too close. The same scent I carried clung to him, threading between us, tangling the air with something I couldn't name. Or did you do it on purpose? Infuriating bastard. I should beat him up and toss him out. Lucky he quit well ahead. Clothes are trashed. Got anything a guy can wear? Nothing male, but I can lend you a robe if you don't mind pink bunnies. The fluffy pink robe hung loose on him yet looked oddly clean and fresh instead of girly. A bit small, but no one's going to see it this hour, so getting home should be easy. I opened the door and delivered the eviction notice. Declan's smile slid off. Sharpness flashed in his eyes, voice edged with frost. Skylar, I hauled you out of Alex once upon a time, and that still isn't worth one night on your couch. Great. Your conscience only works for Adrian, huh? 7. Declan left. The apartment felt hollow. On an op once, I'd completed the objective but couldn't exfil. Adrian wasn't answering. I thought I was finished in that pitch-black abandoned plant. Then Declan barreled in, headlights sighting the dark, driving like a stuntman. Pulled me into his car and got me out alive. Standing on Ellis, cigarette between his fingers. He'd mocked me half angry. How much is Adrian paying you to risk your life like that? 5 minutes later and you'd have been Swiss cheese back then. I've been crazy in love. I'd have done anything. I'll pay you double. No risk. Come work for me. Think about it. I stared at the wrecked limited edition ride and shook my head. Younger. We're not on the same road. He gave a short laugh, thin smoke hiding whatever crossed his face. Adrian might not be on your road either. 5 years later, that bullet finally hit me between the eyes. I snapped out of it. I packed every gift Adrian had ever given me, scheduled a courier and sent the lot back. The next morning, I was still asleep when the phone rang. I answered without looking. When did you start playing games? That playing hard to get garbage doesn't suit you. Returning a bunch of junk changes nothing. Skylar, I don't want to see you act stupid. Don't make me despise you. It was Adrian's voice like a razor. Sleep vanished. Before I could speak, he went on, disappointment and contempt dripping. Vivian was raised wrapped in silk. If you're angry, come at me. Not her. So once love dies, even my basic character is disposable in his eyes. If I really went after her, she wouldn't be bouncing around right now. Believe me. Silence. Then a cold command. Plan this wedding flawlessly, and I'll terminate the contract. 8. I started preparing Adrian and Vivian's wedding. Most of Adrian's circle knew we were supposed to get married. Now that First was back, I'd become the joke everyone pointed at. Look at that nerve. If it were me, I couldn't show my face. Social climbing trash from the gutter. Finally hooked Adrian. Of course she won't let go. Female bodyguard. Probably slept with every client. Dreaming of marrying into the Cross family. Check a mirror. My cheeks burned. I grabbed a life-size poster and flung it at them. I don't give a damn about the Cross name. But since when did the family start kenneling mutts? Who you calling dogs? One of them charged and slammed a kick into me. Instinct balled my fist, but I forced myself to stop. Want to hit us? Go ahead. Your precious Adrian isn't here to protect you anymore. They were right. In the past he might have stepped in. Now throwing that punch would cost more than money. It could bury the rest of my life. Never thought I'd hit a woman. One sneered, hand whipping toward my face. I shut my eyes, shaking with rage. Endure it. After the wedding I'm free. But the expected pain never landed. Instead, a grunt exploded beside me. Who gave you permission? A voice I knew. My eyes flew open. Declan stood there, tailored suit, perfect posture. He kicked the guy to the floor, planted a foot on his chest, eyes icy. A Cross employee and you dare touch her? Tired of living? Why younger? She's just cheap. Declan's fist crashed down, blood spattered. The kid wretched, terror flooding his face. Declan stepped away, scanned the pack, voice lethal. She's a bodyguard. She could kill one of you and I'd cover it. Apologize. Sorry, not accepted. I stepped up and drove my own kick into the bleeding mouth. Declan's eyes glittered with approval. More, that's enough. All right, he took my hand. Screw this wedding. Let's go for a ride. 9. A ride, he said. We ended up back at my place. He folded his long frame onto my two-seat sofa, looking cramped. Before I could speak, he protested. Come on, I haven't slept all night. Can't I crash for 10 minutes? I fetched a light throw. As I turned, he caught my wrist, tilted his head, bloodshot eyes, laughing. Feel good. Meaning the payback we just dished out. Felt great. His grin widened. There's something even better. Want to try? Warning bells rang. His gaze was pure hook. And the refusal died. He yanked and I landed astride on his lap. I felt the coiled strength in his core, and my face blackened. Declan. He let go, perfectly innocent. I'm a healthy man, Sky. Got any booze? Let's drink. Aren't you supposed to be napping? He sat up, draping the blanket over his lap. A couple beers. You in? I was suffocating on frustration. A drink sounded right. I'm in. He ordered a 12-pack. I nursed one. He killed the rest. One beer is my ceiling. When the room started to tilt, his handsome face loomed close. I reached out, touched the pale skin showing in the deep V of his black jacket, then tried to pull back. His fingers locked around my wrist. He stared straight at me, something unreadable flickering in the depths of his eyes. Touch me again without permission, and I can't promise I'll behave. I stared back, my thoughts a tangled mess, a reckless impulse surging upward. Without warning, I leaned in, fisted his shirt, and brushed my lips over his soft mouth. Like this. Declan went rigid. A heartbeat later, his voice dropped to a gravelly whisper, the sharp line of his throat working once, twice. Skylar. I yanked off his suit jacket and pushed him down. A night of delicious chaos. When I woke the next morning, Declan was already up. He wore laid-back loungewear, pink, no less. I'd never imagined any man could make that color look so good. He stood in the sunlight pouring through the window, bathed in a warm, steady glow. For no reason at all I felt safe. You're awake. I sat up. My knees screamed in protest. The moment my feet hit the floor, I nearly pitched over. Declan caught me deadpan. We should train more stamina next time. Didn't expect Adrian to play gentleman though. Declan braced his hands on either side of me. Skylar, I'm old-fashioned. Meaning you slept with me. Now you own me. So Declan and I were together. Last night was mostly my doing. I hadn't been that drunk. I'd simply wanted an excuse to let go. And it had to be him. Of all people, it was him. Adult world. You do it, you own it. After that night, Declan moved in. He was young and insatiable. I was healthy and single. We lost whole days to each other. Time flew and Adrian and Vivian's wedding date crept closer. One afternoon after checking the plaza, I ran into them. They strolled arm in arm, the picture of perfection. When Vivian stepped away for a moment, Adrian walked over. He studied me for a long beat, eyes dark and dissecting. Dating someone? Maybe because I've been drowning in Declan day and night. The old ache felt remote. Now he just irritated me. Your new boyfriend fought the Whitman Younger over you. Clearly, he had no idea Declan had been the one throwing punches. Adrian gave a soft scoff. No need to recruit riffraff just to spite me. The devoted ex drops you and proposes the next minute. The rumored player has never had a real girlfriend. I couldn't help snapping. He's not riffraff. I've always protected what's mine. Used to be him. Now it's someone else. The shift stunned him. He lifted a hand to ruffle my hair. I ducked and his fingers met air. You never settled before. Don't start now just to punish me. Let him think what he wants. I no longer care. Work at the plaza was done, so I left. I hadn't expected Declan to pick me up. The instant I climbed into his car, he lunged across the seat. A hard, possessive kiss as if stamping his claim. Only when we were both breathless did he let go. Was he that interesting? I considered, then answered honestly. Still easier talking to you. Why are you here? Declan's grin turned smug. Forgot. Grandfather's birthday gala next week. I'm taking you to try on gowns. You're serious? Meeting the parents means we're official. I had no clue whether the Cross family knew about Adrian and me. Jumping from brother to brother sounded tacky no matter how you spun it. Declan's smile dimmed. His long fingers tightened on the wheel. The car slid into traffic. What about you? Serious or just playing? I said nothing. Eventually he gave a soft, humorless laugh. Skylar, are you really just messing with me? After that day, Declan stopped coming over. Only texts remained. Good morning. Good night. Always the same few lines. Habit is terrifying. Before he moved, I had never felt lonely. Once he left, the apartment felt wrong in every corner. Days blurred until the night of Mr. Cross's birthday gala. Declan didn't even text. Vivian showed up instead. Without her gentle mask, she looked every inch the victor. These should go back to their rightful owner. Especially this. He tossed it in the trash. Yours, I believe. In the tote were every gift I'd ever given Adrian. She dangled a bullet dog tag necklace. I'd taken that slug for him. He'd had it mounted and worn it next to his skin. The memory of metal punching through me flashed to life. Skylar. A status like yours will never match Adrienne's. Just like this trinket, no respectable venue would allow it. Oh, and her smile turned vicious. Adrian said a bodyguard, however good, can't compare to a devoted fiancé because when danger comes, a loyal girlfriend would die for him. So he'd never loved me. It had all been calculation, the blade twisted deep. I stood there long after she'd left. I hurled every souvenir into the trash, then pulled out my phone and dialed Declan, only to hang up. Finally, I decided to accompany me. A lazy voice sounded nearby. Declan pocketed his phone and closed the distance, catching my hand. Come on, let's get you dressed. I backpedaled. I haven't decided whether to come as my date or to rub their faces in it. I snapped my gaze to him beneath the careless facade. He saw too much. It made my petty motives feel smaller. You mind? Not in the least. He laced our fingers. Skylar. I'll wait for the day you're crazy in love with me. So we went outside the ballroom. He stopped short. What now? Feel like causing a scene. Before I could answer, he cupped the back of my neck and kissed me hard. When he finally let go, I sparkled. Perfect. Remembering something, he loosened my hair so it hit the marks on my throat. Let's go. The Cross Atriarch's gala drew a glittering crowd. I'd attended countless parties like this, never as a guest. Younger madam is asking for you. Be right there. Declan scanned the hall. Want to wait in my room? I arched a brow. Younger, am I hidden cargo? He blinked then laughed. Stay where I can see you then. I chose a quiet corner. Moments later, a cold voice cut through. What are you doing here, Adrian? He loomed over me. I told you your presence wasn't required. What is that on your neck? His flat eyes swirled black. He seized my arm. You're actually dating someone, kissing after a few days. Who is he? I wrenched free. Taylor, we have an employment contract, not a relationship. My private life is off limits. I spun away. He caught me again. Rage turned in his stare, then curled into contempt. Lying, right? There's no man. You did that to yourself? Let go. We were attracting glances. I refused to become gossip fodder. Reading my panic, he sneered. Walk away with me now. I refused. He yanked harder until a tall figure shouldered between us and pried him off. Brother, since when do you manhandle women? Stay out of this. It's between her and me. Really? Declan's arm slid around my waist, palm branding my hip. But what if I'm the boyfriend? Adrian went silent, his gaze locked on Declan's hand, color drained from his face. At last his voice turned arctic. How did the two of you even happen? Declan's grin was pure taunt. You wouldn't repay a life debt, so little brother stepped in. Adrian looked murderous. Finally he stared at me, contempt dripping. Revenge sex with my brother. Nice move, Skylar. Don't forget your place. Come here. I couldn't fathom his rage, the wounded pride. He'd been the one to let me go. Our contract is professional. You have zero say over my personal choices. Is that so? His eyes were pitch. Check the fine print. Rowan on call. When your employer summons, you obey. Before I could retort, Declan tugged me aside. Crimson wine slashed down his jaw, staining his shirt. Vivian stood frozen, glass raised. I didn't mean him. Her target had been me. Quinn, I never crossed you. Vivian's hatred flashed naked. Throwing yourself at my fiancé. Wine is the least you deserve. Her voice carried, heads turned. Quinn, this photo is you. Deny it if you can. On her phone, Adrian was asleep in a chair, and I was draping a blanket over him. Love unmistakable in my eyes. We'd been together then. Shameless fiancé snatcher. A bodyguard from the gutter. Dreaming of marrying up. I never came between. Enough. Adrian cut me off cold. Stop making a spectacle. Leave. I stared at him in disbelief. I could understand him shielding Vivian, but not when it was built on humiliating me, and definitely not when it meant twisting the truth. What was this? I hadn't done anything yet. I was being labeled the other woman. I didn't, Skylar. Adrian cut in, irritation sharpening his voice. This doesn't concern you. Tisk. Suddenly, Declan laced his fingers through mine like a lone traveler spotting an oasis. My eyes stung. She never came between you two. What's so hard about letting her speak? Whispers rippled around us. Everyone seemed to be trying to untangle the four-way knot we'd become. Declan tipped his head, lazy and unbothered. Babe, with a boyfriend this perfect beside you, why do you even look at them? A complicated taste filled my mouth, mostly gratitude. No, you're amazing. Looking at you is plenty. He'd stepped up for me. I couldn't leave him solo on this stage. Adrian parted his lips on the verge of something, but ultimately stayed silent. So she's Younger's girl. Whole thing's a misunderstanding. Exactly. One family. Just clear the air. Family talks it out. Declan flashed a grin, pushed a glass into my hand, curled my fingers around it, and guided the splash straight at Vivian. She shrieked, mascara racing down her cheeks. Adrian yanked her close, dabbing the spill, his face thunderous. Deck, that was too far. Declan shrugged, utterly unrepentant. I hold grudges. Keep bullying my girlfriend, and next time it won't be wine. He steered me away, then paused to toss over his shoulder with ice-cold swagger. Oh brother, she's off tonight. Short-handed. Call me, I'll sub. Declan tugged me upstairs to a suite. He shrugged off his jacket, dropped it on a chair, and disappeared into the bathroom. I waited outside. Minutes later my phone buzzed. Adrian. I ignored it. After 4 missed calls he switched to texts. Get down here. When did you and him start? Skylar, do you even know what you're doing? Apologized to Vivian. He was exhausting. I powered the phone off. Exhaustion won. I dozed off. When I woke, Declan was out, hair damp. Robin. He killed his screen at the rustle of sheets, the cool planes of his face softening. You're up. Come eat. He liberated birthday gala cake and skewers from downstairs. Wasn't sure what you like. Grabbed a bit of everything. The cake was the flavor I loved. A memory flickered. Back in Emory, Declan would drift through Adrienne's parties like he owned the place, smuggling desserts to the security team. Wherever he prowled, I never went hungry. And almost truth surfaced, too presumptuous to trust. You this thoughtful with everyone? I'm not that free. You smile whenever you get that cake in Aurelia. Mid-sentence, his hands hesitated. Trying to trick me? I stayed quiet. His smile deepened. So what did you guess? He'd felt it that early. Correct. He kissed me. The rope belt loosened. His hand guided mine beneath. He climbed the walls. When my back met the mattress, he stilled. His gaze burned. Lights off. Yes. Click. Interrupted by knocks. Declan's brow twitched. Ignore it. He dipped again. More knocks. Faster. Open up. It's your brother. I nudged him. Answer. He patted over, robe slipping. My door 99 smudged on his mouth. Leaning on the jamb, he drawled, Brother, shouldn't you be cuddling first instead of interrupting us? Adrienne's stare, fixed on the lipstick, slid to me, swaddled in blankets, face darkening inch by inch. Finally he bit out, 10 minutes downstairs. I didn't budge. I'm off duty tonight. Calling in sick. Declan snorted. Hear that? My girl's tired. Talk to me. Adrienne stayed silent, eyes pinning me. The bracelet your mother left. You left it with me. Translation. Stay here and lose it. I met his gaze word by word. Trash it. She walked out on me. I don't want anything of hers. His expression curdled. He strode inside. Declan didn't bother blocking, clutching the duvet. I watched Vivian materialize in the doorway, eyes glinting. Adrienne, don't tell me you're here for Skylar this late. Declan twirled his phone, lounging against the frame. Since that night, the picture-perfect couple argued plenty. None of my business. 1 month later, their wedding arrived. My contract expired. I started apartment hunting. Years of saved hazard pay covered the down payment on a 3-bedroom with decent light. Returning from the new place one evening, I caught the reek of whiskey and cigarettes on the landing. My key hand froze. Adrian, the first time he'd appeared since coming back from Elia. The sensor lamp flared over bloodshot eyes and a stubbled jaw. When did you change the lock? Sidestepped. The planner has everything. If first wants changes, let Taylor's PA email. I didn't trash them. A box sat by his feet. Every gift he'd given. They're yours. I don't take things back. I had no clue why he was here. Sour grapes. Then toss them yourself. I turned the key. He seized my wrist. Stop acting out. If dating Deck was a ploy to spite me, congrats. Mission accomplished. Call him now and end it. I've made myself clear. I shook free. He blocked the door. So you're only with Declan to hurt me? Logic failure. Yeah. Watch this. I'm in love with him. I'll tell him myself. I tracked Declan down. Tonight was his birthday. Inside the private lounge, his friends butchered karaoke. The music died the moment I stepped in. Sister-in-law, they chorused. Respectful, warm, so unlike Adrian's crowd. Where is he? Bodies parted like curtains. Here, sis. Declan lounged in a black silk shirt undone to there, hairstyled, silver chain at his throat. Showy, ridiculous, beautiful. He was plastered, half-conscious. Please don't dump Deck, bro. He's crushed on you for years. Back in Alex, he tailed every OP. Scared you'd get hurt when you caught that bullet and almost flatlined. He ditched a board meeting, chartered a jet, crashed his car, racing from airport to hospital, refused treatment till you woke, and swore us to secrecy. If you don't believe me, check just below his left ribs. There's a scar. Sister-in-law, Deck's got the looks. And if nothing else, he's got money enough to last this lifetime, the next, and the one after that. For the sake of the cash, if he messes up and makes you mad, just forgive him this once. Okay. So behind my back, he'd given so much without a word. I steadied my breathing. Did he tell you he'd upset me? He didn't say, but we figured it had to be something like that. I had no idea how to respond. We're fine. Just a tiny misunderstanding. But why is he this drunk? Drunk? No. Oh, wrong kind of booze. Alcohol allergy. Overdid it enough. The man on the sofa opened his eyes, face dark. How'd I end up with friends who can't even lie properly? I swallowed a laugh. Declan slid an arm around my waist. Your sister-in-law and I have business to split. Bro, take care of your back. We went home. The second the door shut, Declan kissed me like he couldn't wait. He walked me backward until I tumbled onto the bed, and he followed me down. I answered him cautiously. The moment he sensed it, some secret switch inside him flipped, and there was no stopping either of us. We were lost in the kiss when my phone rang. Honestly, I was dizzy too. Frowning, I fished it out. An all too familiar number. Declan recognized it as well. He hit answer. Neither of us spoke. The voice on the other end was softer than before. Bought you a gift. Remember to collect. Declan gave a cold laugh and bit the side of my neck. I yelled. Before a sound escaped, he sealed my lips with his. Skylar, you've always lived in my heart. My skirt was pushed up. A hot tear slipped from the corner of my eye. Overhead, the ceiling light blurred into streaks. After who knows how long, the caller hesitated. Sky, who are you with? What are you doing? Curled in Declan's arms, I poked his rock-hard abs in playful revenge. The man was pure mischief. Declan looked utterly satisfied. Brother, it's late and we're a couple. Take a wild guess. Silence. Declan could kill with words. Don't tell me you and my sister-in-law never have. Can't be. Last time you two were making out in front of my girlfriend. Surely in private it's not all innocence. The other side was seething. Declan crossed his arms. The line went dead. Declan noticed my fingertip resting on the scar beneath his ribs. He shrugged it off. Tiny scratch. Forget it. Must have hurt. Not as much as taking a bullet for my brother dead. Sourness filled the room. I only stop. Not interested in your romantic history. I brushed a kiss across his mouth. No, I meant there's no room for him in my heart anymore. Declan's eyes flared, pinning me. Explain. He's gone, that's all. So there's space for me now? I thought, then nodded. Remember you once said I'd fall for you sooner or later. Yeah, Prophet Declan, you nailed it. The next second, the quilt flew over us and he pressed me down. Babe, round 218. 1 month later, Adrian and Vivian's wedding. The night before, the Cross Group announced the cancellation. Reporters dug deep. Adrian had axed it single-handedly. Cross stock nosedived. The rumor mill roared. The family scrambled. I couldn't care less about their love-hate soap opera. I worried only about when my own termination contract would finally get signed. Adrian found me right then. Flowers, luxury car, gorgeous man, picture perfect. He held a bouquet of pale blue Ecuadorian roses and dropped to one knee. Sky, I found the ring. Give me one more chance. Marry me. Marry him. Marry him. Marry him. Strangers cheered. I carried groceries and felt nothing but tired. I walked away. He chased and blocked my path. I called off the wedding with a self-mocking smile. Gone was the aloof CEO. Ridiculous, isn't it? In the end, you're the one I can't let go. Ridiculous indeed, Taylor. But I need to get home and cook, Skylar. He seized my arm. Pain flickered in those dark eyes. Everyone screws up. Can't I have one shot? I don't love you anymore. I don't believe it. His stare bored into me. You loved me so much you risked your life. I calmly peeled his hand away. Yeah, and the life I gambled bought me this. You could have said you were done. Ended it clean. Instead you kissed her in front of me. Let your friends humiliate me. That Adrian was your version of love. You're just bitter. You lost. The light in his eyes dimmed bit by bit. You'll see how serious I am. I rummaged in my bag, shoved a fistful of dilly stems into his arms. Taylor, eat up. They're good for you. 19. I never expected his serious to land so fast. The next day, Adrian posted from the Cross official account. My heart belongs to someone else. The match with him was only business. Now I'm reclaiming my real love. He attached a long note, my name erased, detailing how we met, became partners, fell in love, then parted. The internet exploded. Some cursed him, others swooned over his face, shipping our second chance romance hashtag. Every night, Declan read it aloud in a jealous tone, then claimed compensation for his wounds in bed. After several rounds, Adrian texted, "Come sign the termination contract." I went. Days had roughened him. Stubble, bloodshot eyes, the chill of old money replaced by gaunt exhaustion. Sit. No need. I'll sign and leave. He slid the papers over, gaze unreadable. In such a rush? Is he waiting downstairs? Declan's busy. This is minor. And Adrian doesn't deserve an explanation. I flipped the file and froze. Not termination and equity transfer. Meaning marry me. Cross-holding splits 50/50ths. I dropped the pen, anger flaring. If the termination isn't ready, I'll come back. I turned, the office door clicked. Locked. I whipped around. Adrian sat, fingers steepled, eyes relentless. 5 years by my side and you still haven't learned what I want. Objects, people always become mine. You're sick. Sick for you. He rose, gazing out the glass. In 1 hour, cross-official accounts will announce our engagement. I yanked out my phone. Dead zone. Signals jammed on this floor. No calls, no rescue. Crash. The glass door exploded inward under a chair. 20. Declan stood, gripping the splintered seat, knuckles dripping crimson. I ran to him. You're hurt. He ignored it, scanning me, murder still in his eyes. Did he touch you? I shook my head. I'm the bodyguard here. Nobody messes with me. Good. He smirked. Now watch the show. Vivian stormed in, swung with everything she had, and slapped Adrian hard. You love me when it's convenient, dump me when it's not. What am I, a toy? She sobbed, beating him with her purse. Adrian let her vent before catching her wrists. Enough. It's over. I'm pregnant. Silence fell like a blade. Vivian yanked a crumpled lab report from her bag. Adrian, I'm carrying your baby. The press already knows. You will marry me willing or not. I glanced at Declan, calm, unsurprised. I'd seen enough. Let's go. Your hand needs stitches. Sure. But first he tossed Adrian a grin. Brother, sister-in-law, congrats in advance on the shotgun wedding. Adrian and Vivian had their shotgun wedding. The night before, Adrian texted me 3 words only. Sorry. Forgive. I barely finished reading when a chuckle sounded behind me. Still won't quit. I deleted the text without answering. That vinegar's ancient baby. His hand slipped under my sleep shirt, voice husky. Then soothe me. Lights off. I wound my arms around his neck. Declan, I love you so much. One heart is plenty for a lifetime. The end. Thanks for listening to today's story. If you enjoyed it, please like and share with friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, so feel free to share your views and don't forget to subscribe for more tales. See you next.